No, I had an idea.
Did you?
That no, you don't want to do like a
No,
fact.
that sounds stupid.
Fact of the week. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ignorance and Want podcast.
Well, hello and welcome to this frequent and professionally produced podcast. It's a comedy podcast about the inevitability of death.
We're all on the bus.
No one's driving the bus. We're all going to die.
Carl, how hilarious would it be if Carl Sagan was announced as God?
I think that would be really depressing.
Really?
If it was just amongst all the other news, and finally it has emerged that Carl Sagan is in fact the one true God.
Don't think
he has walked among us since the beginning of time. The ancient Sumerians knew him as Kylus the Mad. I think that would be really depressing.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson is his Jesus.
Well, Jesus is a part of God. Don't you know anything?
No, I don't.
Ugh.
Something about like
the
Jesus
Father,
going
the
to...
Son, and the Holy Spirit are all God. Get it right.
All I know about this whole Bible is that that some guy and some girl went to Jerusalem and tried to find
Bethlehem.
Was it Bethlehem? Bethlehem, and tried to find a hotel, but they couldn't because they were all booked up.
Bethlehem. You even got the town wrong. That's unbelievable.
Bethlehem, yes.
That's amazing.
My point is, they went to try and find a place. They didn't book in advance, and they should have known it was busy because it was Christmas.
It wasn't Christmas. This is your life, viewer, and it's ending 1 second at a time.
Anyway, Stephen, have you got any topics for this week? Because I've got none. We've been off of this for what, 4 months, 5 months. It's been a while.
We had a long time off after Brexit because I was just sitting quivering with a revolver in my mouth, but it didn't seem as long because I took a long time to sort out the previous podcast, which was released ages after we actually recorded it.
Indeed.
Luckily, we didn't do any Brexit stuff because they all would have been out of date by the time we actually got around to producing the show. Yeah, that dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
A small bullet.
Yeah.
We did get in the way of a big shell, but that's all right.
Yes.
It'll all be fine. Some of my American friends were making fun of Brexit. And they were like, what have you done? You've just done a stupid thing. And I'm like, yeah, this is the edgy European version. You're going to make the crap American remake in November. And I was like, save all of your jokes for November 10th, boy. Then we'll see who's made the stupid world-altering decision.
Why can't we have Bernie? Bernie is your granddad.
Because we can't have nice things. We're not allowed nice things. Do you think this species deserves any kind of redemption? No. Donald Trump is not the hero we want. He's the one we fucking well got, and we'll have to deal with him.
Golf club there. Golf club there.
Yeah, everyone gets a golf club. I don't want a golf club.
And then you're behind 6 foot high walls with tacos. Tacos on every corner.
Yeah, there was like a Mexican guy at the gym, and he was doing sit-ups, and I'm like, yeah, you can build your abdominal wall, but you're going to pay for it.
That's great. Sorry,
that was a terrible joke, and you're a bad person for laughing at it.
So, I know. I laugh at terrible jokes, and I make terrible jokes.
All true. I'm not going to refute any part of that statement.
I've made 2 jokes in the past week. One was
amazing.
What is Palestine's favourite kind of pea? I don't know. Yasser Arafat. I read a book about the construction about the Titanic recently. It was riveting. Okay, guys, see you next week.
How many seconds was that your life just ended? Never going to get those back. You're a little bit less alive than you were a few seconds ago after those jokes.
Anyway.
Well, what is even the format of this thing?
What
was our format? We wrote one down and then I've utterly forgotten it.
It was show and tell, and then...
Show and tell was in the middle. There was something before show and tell.
Did you know? Let's think of one. We can cut this part out.
Yes, this will be the bit we cut out.
Yeah.
Did you know? Well, what interesting things have you been reading or thinking about that we might not have known?
I haven't been reading anything interesting recently.
I'm actually finding this quite draining. Like, genuinely, this is like quite an exhausting experience. When you start telling really bad jokes, just like inside, I'll be honest, I sometimes think I might not make it to the end of this sentence.
Not without, like, at least a strong drink.
Might not survive to the end of this sentence.
Yes, have you got anything interesting? You were away on a trip to...
Well, that's not really a did the audience know about my personal life.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
I went to the Northwest Highlands. It was nice.
Yes. You go quite often, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's nice.
Explain to me, like, what there is up there, because I've not
Nothing.
been.
That's what's so great about it.
Fantastic.
Look out your window. Look out your window right now, listener. Look at all the shit. Look at all the disgusting f***ing people walking around with their faces brushing little bits of sandwich out of their mouths. Look at them. Ugh, they make me sick. They make me physically ill. You know what's up there? No people. Nothing. Just hills and little things that you can go and look at that don't involve people. Great.
You hold a lot of contempt for everybody.
Well, they've given me reason to. No, it's just nice. It's nice and peaceful and quiet, and you don't get any phone signals, so you don't have to answer emails. It's great.
Fantastic.
I want to go to other places too. Everyone at work always gets on at me because I was just like, oh yeah, I got back from Paris last week, and next week I'm going to Vienna. And I'm just like...
In that voice?
Yeah, in exactly that voice. It's like a balloon that someone's just letting a tiny bit of air out of.
And I think I'll go to Milan next.
And I'm just like, I don't really want to go to anywhere. Like, I look at places abroad and I'm like, it's either too expensive to go or I have absolutely no interest in anything that's there.
Really?
Yep.
Really? That's fair enough.
It's not really fair enough. It's incredibly ignorant and stupid. But
it's fair enough because that's your view on the world. It's like nobody can force you to have that.
Yeah, I would like to be more well-travelled, but I go on holiday booking websites and I'm either like, Jesus, is that the cost of a holiday?
It is now. Thank you, Brexit.
or I look at the places and I'm just like, why would anyone want to go there apart from to detonate themselves?
Yeah.
It's just like Ibiza.
Oh God,
where,
no!
Where the
never...
STDs are so advanced, PETA protests if you try and treat them. And literally, the only reason you would go there is if you had some sort of weapon and you wanted to reduce the population.
It's a good way of culling all those that generally don't need to exist anymore.
Yeah, sink the whole thing twice a week.
Superb. Speaking of Brexit, I know that you're making that face.
I don't think we should do politics.
No,
firstly, because it will just lead to me screaming and banging my head on something.
Fair enough.
And secondly, I don't think anyone gives a shit about our stupid opinions.
So, Stephen, have you made your Airfix model kit yet?
No. Next question.
Is there life on Mars?
I hope not.
Why?
Because if there is life on Mars, it will be the end of life on this planet. Because that means that we will have explored 2 planets and found life on 2. And that means life is not special or unique. We are not a unique and special flower. We are literally like mold growing on the universe. Life is so common that it's not even worth preserving. And then all bets are off. That's what I think will happen if we find microbes on Mars. And I think there are microbes on Mars, so I think we're all gonna die.
From microbes?
Not from microbes, from psychos.
Like Donald Trump.
Well, no, but if life is so abundantly common in the universe that it exists on literally every planet we've explored, what's to stop me just parking outside my favourite store by driving through the pedestrian precinct?
Very good point.
Yeah, that life is not special or unique.
No. You shouldn't have...
What's to stop me, like, dumping nuclear waste into a pond? Like, those fish aren't special. Fucking everywhere.
To be fair, you'd be quite sponsored by the Conservative government at the moment.
Yeah. You know what I did the other day? I watched The Purge.
I've not watched it yet.
The second one.
Tell me about it.
Not the new one, the second one. Anarchy?
Oh, right, yeah.
Because the first one sounded rubbish, but the second one sounded alright, and I watched it.
How was it?
I don't know. Only Americans could imagine a world where all crime is legal and the only crime anyone's interested in doing is murder. Because America is a society where every single member of it exclusively secretly wants to die.
That's a very good point, because
if all crime was legal, firstly there'd be a lot of street races.
Yeah.
Then there'd be a lot of, like... I think there would be tons and tons of, like, illegal research and people making illegal trades on the stock market.
Yeah.
And, like, businesses would do lots of illegal waste disposal. The Purge would be a disaster. The Purge wouldn't be, like, anarchy. Like, there'd be a few rooftop snipers who are just like, why not? But mostly it would just be people breaking stupid laws. Because those are the laws people want to break. There'd be a lot of drinking and driving.
Sodomy.
Yeah, consensual incest.
Yeah.
That'll be a big one. You know it would.
Yeah, exactly.
You know it would.
You've never looked more attractive, mother.
Illegal immigration.
Oh, that doesn't... What do you mean? It doesn't happen at the moment?
Yeah, but people would do it even more. What's to stop somebody chartering a ferry and charging £5 a head?
Well, the fact that they don't have £5 to begin with.
I think they do. Most of the people who reach Europe are the rich people of Syria. The poor people can't afford to move at all.
Yeah,
do you not look into this at all?
I don't know.
It's the great crisis of our time.
Yeah. It's quite sad. But then again...
I made myself sad again.
Yeah.
No.
Then again, I'm more of a hopeful person in that. The reason why I voted to stay in the EU was because we can help our friends.
Really? Because the EU has been made... Their confused and impotent response to this is basically why it's still a problem.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't argue against that. Like,
I voted to stay in the EU as well, but mainly like to keep a marriage alive so that the husband doesn't go on a shooting spree.
It's true.
Sorry about the darkness in this podcast. I'm in a very dark place.
Hello, darkness,
and I don't just mean my flat, which does have lights. They're just
yes. Well, I was going to say something very specific there, and I can't remember what it was.
As opposed to something completely arbitrary.
Oh, I always say arbitrary.
This is not news to me.
No, I've been watching some pretty shitty films recently. Well, I wouldn't call
like
them shit. They're actually really good films, but you would regard them as shitty.
Like what?
The Fault in Our Stars.
I haven't seen that. I'm a big fan of John Green, but I've never read any of his books.
Yeah.
But I like his other output.
Yes. Have you seen John Green's thing about AFC Wimbledon?
That's the bit of his that I follow the least.
Yeah.
I follow the Dear Hank and John podcast, on which we are loosely based.
Yes.
And I watch Vlogbrothers all the time.
Yeah.
And I used to watch Crash Course when he presented it.
Yeah, Crash Course was awesome.
Yeah, Crash Course is awesome about educating you about stuff that you don't know anything about.
Exactly.
Like, so much of my knowledge of history comes from Crash Course and Extra Credits History.
Yeah. Crash Course US history, like, I didn't know people got assassinated in this way because for Piccolo. I thought everybody was crazy.
US history was really good as well.
Yep.
And world history.
Yeah. The Fault in Our Stars is really good, but it's not because... Well...
I know a bit about the film. What do you think about the bit in the Anne Frank house? Because I have seen that bit, and I thought it was one of the most tasteless bits of film in the entire world.
It's very distasteful. I was going to say that. It's not polite. Yeah.
I was like, this is pretty poor.
To be fair,
is pretty poor.
And the reason why I say this is because I thought it was distasteful is because I got somebody's number when I was in the Anne Frank house when I went there the first time downstairs. I got a girl's number.
See, I thought it was distasteful to put it on film. You lived it.
Yes.
Oh, good.
You're a lovely girl.
How does it feel to be a beast in flesh? Did the number get you anywhere?
No, I didn't bother. I didn't.
So you violated the memory of a murdered girl who became a symbol of an entire race that was murdered.
No, it's different, Stephen. It's all different. This is why it's different. This is why I'm confused, and I didn't contact her because she gave me her number, not I asked for it.
Okay, in a please get in my pants kind of number way, or did she think you were a tour guide?
I've got probably a tour guide.
She probably didn't think you were threatening in any way.
That guy looks like he lives here.
That guy looks like he lives in Amsterdam.
No, I wasn't even saying Amsterdam. I was in Anne Frank's
look.
house. Yeah, he looks like he survived the war, hiding in the cupboards, eating 50.
Famously, the people in Anne Frank's house didn't survive the war.
Yeah, well,
I made myself sad again.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for reminding me of modern history. I have to have a look through Netflix.
Welcome to the bit we cut out of the podcast as Lewis tries to remember films.
Or we can change it into a man looks up thing on laptop.
Oh, we didn't do that last time. It's the return. Welcome, listeners, to the segment the world has been crying out for. My sack is absolutely stuffed with letters. It's the bulging sack. You got a letter out of the bulging sack. What does it say? It says, when are you going to do man looks up thing on laptop? The thrilling auditory treat. Clean out your eardrums. Get ready. It's man looks up thing on laptop.
I can't remember the film. Sorry. Yeah. So what you thinking?
Older.
What are you thinking about this new Top Gear, the Grand Tour?
I don't know. It might be good.
It might be. It's
Top Gear wasn't. Did you watch the new series with Chris Evans?
Oh, it's bollocks!
What a notorious twat he is!
It was fantastic. It was like it was almost. It made me feel better about my life knowing that I wasn't him.
Yeah, I can wake up every morning and be like, I didn't make a pathetic milquetoast Top Gear. You know what? If I was going to make Top Gear, have we already discussed it on the podcast? I feel like I've said all this to you before.
You probably said it to me, but not on the podcast.
We haven't talked about Top Gear. If I was going to make Top Gear, I would have a big whiteboard in the office with a list of all the things they used to do and say, do not, under any circumstances, do any of this. Because some of the other presenters were all right. There was actually a bit up in Aston. I don't know if you made it to the 6th episode. They filmed up where me and Vicky were a couple of weeks ago.
Stephen, I didn't even make it past the first episode.
You can,
I got halfway through and went, oh, fuck this.
You can look up episode 6. Episode 6 had a bit in the Highlands. It was by that guy who did Top Gear Extra. And apparently Top Gear Extra was alright. I don't know. I never watched it.
Yeah.
It opened and it had the same credit sequence. And then Chris Evans was like, tonight, I do this. Matt wears a hat. And I was like, no. You haven't just done that. You haven't just tried to do Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
This is like, just don't. Just clear blue water between him and you.
Yeah.
New credit scene, new everything. And then the first thing, this is new Top Gear. The nation is watching. And your first thing was a completely boring review of like the new Dodge Viper or something where it drives around an airfield.
Yeah.
I was like, no. You have to the first minutes have to be something as funny as the amphibious cars bit.
Yes.
It has to be that people remember it in 10 years and be like, that was great telly.
Yeah.
They just opened it with a boring car review as if it had been on for like 4 seasons.
Exactly. You need something that is like not just memorable, like you say, like funny.
You need something that is like the amphibious cars is one of those things you'll go back to in 10 years and just be like, that is how funny that used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just remembering all the bit where the mast was too tall to go under the bridge.
Yeah.
And then it sinks and it's the Titanic moment. How much to get on your car? £1 million.
Yeah. You know what the problem is as well, is that Chris Evans is a radio host and cannot translate his comedy onto the big screen.
You say he's a radio host,
he's
but
not.
If he comes on in the morning, I could not kick the TV quick enough to change the channel, so I'd have to listen to Chris Evans. His voice and the Archers theme tune. I would crash a car into a solid concrete barrier rather than listen to the end of the Archers theme tune knowing I had to listen to the rest of the show. Because they do it. You can't. We were driving up the A9 and there's these big lit up billboards that say do not adjust any in-car gadgets while you're driving. You're supposed to pull over to change the radio station now. So I'm just pressing a button. Because apparently, since I learned to drive, when driving was a thing you learned to do when you were 17 and your head is full of crap and you're full of hormones and you're not thinking about anything, apparently now driving is literally the hardest thing in the world. What is the hardest thing in the world?
The hardest thing in the world would probably be...
Don't make a funny joke about genitalia.
No, I'm not.
Because I've made it in my head and I didn't even laugh.
Eating soup with a fork?
Could you do it while scrolling through Facebook on your phone? Yes.
No,
yes,
you've got two. There's two questions there. Could anybody do it with scrolling?
Well, obviously you couldn't because you're completely incompetent.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So you
have like the motor control of like RoboCop when someone's rerouted his programming. But like apparently driving is now the hardest thing in the universe. It's the most difficult task in the known universe. And you can't do anything else apart from focus on the massive wide strip of tarmac and the boring car in front that's holding you up. You couldn't possibly get out your phone and text, because literally everyone in a 10-mile radius would instantly die.
Are you saying, though, that you're advocating using your phone while in a car?
No, I'm not. But I'm not advocating using the phone while delivering a baby either. I'm advocating using the phone when it's perfectly acceptable and no one is going to be troubled in any way by it.
I've got this image in my head of my midwife going like, I'm putting this on Twitter.
This one's going on Instagram.
Yeah, that's the best I've seen. You know, Instagram. Hashtag new baby.
But
hashtag
yeah, obviously
placenta,
focus on the task at hand.
Hashtag placentagram.
But when you are driving down a perfectly straight road at a sensible speed, there is nothing wrong with picking out your phone and changing the song.
Yeah, okay,
Or like sending a text or a tweet. Of course, like most people can't walk down the street and use their phone because they're idiots. But a lot of people can.
1 second rule. The 1 second rule is that if it's something that takes longer than 1 second,
what can you do in a second?
Panic.
But yeah, it's just. Of course, there are moments while driving that you shouldn't use a phone, but you should use your judgment.
Yeah,
it's so annoying to me because technically, to use your phone, you have to have the keys out of the ignition. You don't just pull over; you have to stop the car and take the keys out of the ignition. Otherwise, you're breaking the law.
I kind of agree with him, though, Stephen.
Oh, God.
That's a problem.
We've got a choice of two worlds.
Yeah.
We can either have the world in which we modify all the rules to accommodate the stupidest people on Earth, or we can have a world where the stupid people die off in horrible accidents because they're idiots, and the smart people get to live on and produce the next generation.
I can totally get behind you on that one. And the reason why I say this is because if the roads weren't full of bus users, public transport, or heavy goods and machinery that are vital to the economy, let people text and drive and let it be natural selection. That's fine. You know, as long as if it ends up that you're texting and you hit like blah 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 and you don't see a curve and you go off a cliff, that's fine.
Even if you're driving and you hit someone else, it's only one person. It's not the end of the world. We're going to ban literally everything that can kill people, because we better ban bedclothes, because they should be better renamed killing machines. A lot more people are killed by bedclothes than pretty much anything else in the world, because you get them tangled around your neck and you choke and die.
That's why I go commando.
No, as in clothes for the bed, not clothes for you to wear in bed.
Oh.
As in, like, blankets that are on the bed.
It's still the reason why I go commando.
When we stopped in Inverness on the way up, and our hotel had one of those things where they didn't have a duvet, they just had, like, hundreds of blankets on the bed.
Oh, yeah.
And I honestly looked at that as if they'd put a landmine in my bed. I was like, well, tonight is the night I die. Wake up with a Highland blanket round my neck, going blue.
There's another odd question that you've talked about hotels. How often do you stay in hostels?
When I was younger?
Younger, so you don't...
I don't stay in hostels anymore because I have a fiancé and we like to sleep in the same bed. And we don't like to share that room with 6 other people we don't know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. No, I was just wondering because...
I like hostels, though. I think they're a cheap way of staying in a place. I think you meet a lot of interesting new friends.
Exactly,
and very occasionally get sexually assaulted.
No comment.
I always think hostels are like a prison. When you go in, you have to... Like, this is what you have to do if you're in prison. Like, your first day in prison, you have to just go up to, like, the biggest guy you can and, like, bottle him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. You have to, like, it's like law of the jungle. You got to establish your dominance on day one.
Exactly.
Got to just be like, I am not someone to be messed with.
Exactly. I pissed on this bed. It's the top bunk.
It's mine.
So good luck. You know.
That's more the young ones. Your bedroom's on fire.
No, I like hostels because there's. Is that me or you?
That's me. I'm popular. Woo! And resume.
Yeah, I like hostels because you don't expect anything. Whereas if you
expect a bed and a breakfast.
I don't even expect breakfast. I expect a bed.
Well, you pay for breakfast in almost every hostel.
Almost every hostel, yeah.
That's why you eat like mountains.
Yeah,
when you stay in a hostel, you're just like, breakfast, I'll have everything here, please.
The hostel I stayed in, Limehouse, in London last time, it was 15 quid a night. Superb. And on top of that, I got to meet this very nice Australian girl. Nothing happened. However,
you really don't need to add that caveat in.
No.
I can just assume that in my head.
Yeah, I know. I went round to Domino's because I was hungry, and they. I went.
Story going anywhere?
I went into Domino's, and they said. Sorry. And the guy goes like, have you just ordered for this hostel? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And he said, well, go back to your hostel. There's pizza there. I was like, oh, okay, right, I'll go back. Went back to the hostel, and one of the delivery guys just turned up with like 10 boxes of pizza for free. Just like free pizza, and he delivers to this place like almost every night because it kept him out of homelessness. And just as a thank you, he goes like, "Thank you for not making me homeless," sort of thing.
You know, for 15 quid a night, that's probably cheaper than most actual rooms in London.
It is.
It's probably cheaper to stay there than it is to stay in your own house.
Yeah, it is. In that one, I've stayed in Euro Hostel before, but they've been a bit meh. They're quite strict.
Strict about what?
About what bed you sleep in, and who. Yeah, and yeah.
What? Yes, they are quite strict about what bed you sleep in. Because you paid for a specific bed. Most of them are like that.
Yeah, I don't mean like that. I mean as in like, if you've booked a specific room and number. We're boring the fucking listener here, by the way.
I don't think that's anything new. I think our listeners are already plumbing new depths of boredom threshold among humans.
Yes. I'm going to take a massive detour now and ask you if you watch Stranger Things.
No.
You haven't watched Stranger Things?
No.
You haven't watched Stranger Things?
I haven't watched Stranger Things. I haven't watched Mr. Robot. I haven't watched whatever the last 4 TV shows that you absolutely have to watch were. The last thing I caught up with was Narcos, and I watched the first episode of Narcos Season 2, and I'm going to try and keep up with that.
Narcos seems alright. I've watched 2 episodes and it's been good so far, but
It's pretty good.
But I've not got it into the same way that I have with Stranger Things. And don't get me wrong, I say to you, you can watch whatever you want, but you have to watch Stranger Things.
Is this the same way that Breaking Bad was amazing?
No.
And everybody went, oh my god, it's amazing. And I watched it and I'm like, it's a perfectly ordinary crime story. It's not that good.
Okay, then, in fact, if you think of Breaking Bad like that, you might just think of it the same with Stranger Things.
All the TV shows that people are like, oh my god, this TV show is going to change your life. And I'm like, is it though?
No, it's not going to change your life. Nope.
Is it really?
No.
Really, is it?
No.
But is it really though? No, but really is it? Is it really?
Yes.
I don't like any television.
Really? Really?
I'm trying to think of the last time I actually sat down and watched television. It was several months ago.
You watch Sherlock?
No.
You don't watch Sherlock?
I've seen it because Vicky is a fan. I don't watch it.
Ah, right, okay.
I thought the first episode was all right, and it got steadily worse for its entire run. And it is now somewhere in the realms of total obnoxiousness.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's just like, if Doctor Who... If this is even humanly possible, it'd be like if Doctor Who went through a weird time portal and became somehow smugger. That's what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough.
The first episode was all right, because they played with the idea that Sherlock might be the murderer. But apart from that, it was rubbish.
That was the last episode of the third... No, last episode of the second season. No, last episode of the third season. Everybody assumed he was the murderer.
Yeah, but you know he wasn't, because nobody that smug could kill anything except a TV show.
Hashtag Chris Evans.
Observe the interconnectedness of all things.
Okay, Stephen, do you have any show and tell?
No.
You don't?
No.
I don't have any show and tell either.
Have you tried the new Iron Brew Extra?
Yes!
It's like the Iron Brew version of Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
It's great.
Is this a sponsor by... This week's podcast is sponsored by Iron Brew.
No, I have been working hard on sponsorships, but that's not one of them. I would like to be sponsored. If Iron Brew want to send me their Iron Brew millions...
Yep.
I will gratefully accept anything we are sent.
You know what? I would happily accept the fact that they made a mistake by discontinuing the Iron Brew Fiery. The second return of the segment
goes shopping on laptop.
Man, how addictive is Amazon?
Not addictive at all.
It is, because you go on Amazon, and you see something random, you go, okay, I'll buy that, and then it gives you suggestions. You go like, you bought the whole of Dexter Series 9. And
Why
you go,
would you do that?
Would you like some glass samples? And also, would you like some butcher's knives? And they give you suggestions.
I know how Amazon works.
Yeah, but it's good suggestions, because if you want to become a serial killer, it's like the perfect way to be a serial killer. Like, it gives you can buy some tarpaulin, iron, brew, fire.
You can't buy Buscarana bars, so Amazon is dead to me.
You can buy Heinz.
That's
Fiery.
not even remotely close to what you asked.
No, it isn't. Reggae sauce. You can buy Nando's peri peri sauce, which
But
is
that's
not.
nothing to do with Iron Brew Fiery.
I'm looking for it now, Stephen. It might not be. You can buy some Twinings.
It's not. If it's not the first item, it's not going to be anywhere.
No, it's not.
Well, that was show and tell that we failed to do. And did you know that we failed to do?
Yeah.
Have you got any problems?
I've got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots.
Why
of
don't you
problems.
detail them, and then I will minimise them and laugh at you?
Okay, I'm thinking about moving to France.
Is that a problem?
I'm thinking about moving to France to the ski season, and I can't speak French.
That's not really a problem. They all speak English.
Okay, and I can't snowboard.
Well, you're not being asked to snowboard as part of your job. No one's going to make you go snowboarding. If you choose to do that in your free time, that's your own lookout.
And I can't find accommodation.
Well, that's your own fault. There are houses there. Go and stay in one.
Fair enough. Okay, Stephen, do you have any problems?
Nope.
Everything
You
is
said
fine.
you had tons of problems.
Yeah, that was a ton of problems.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I just minimised all of them.
Well, as usual, this is a public podcast, and the public are listening in, or who is listening in, other
10
than
people who watch these
Yes.
on YouTube, you
That-
weird freaks.
yeah, the 9 of which are from the NSA. Yes.
I would just like to say that I love the US government.
Yes. Woo! Go football!
You're the best at the football jumps in
Yay.
the Olympics. I like you.
Yes.
So is that the end of the podcast?
It probably is.
Ah well, today's podcast is sponsored by my exhaustion with this format. My exhaustion with this format. Nah. Today's podcast is also sponsored by Lewis's Problems. Are they problems? but are they really? Really, are they? Are they really? Really, are they? But are they really?
I can't think of any sponsors.
Ugh. What is the point of you?
Well, I am a contrast to you.
So that you're ugly, useless, and ineffectual. Whereas I, by contrast, am great in every way.
Goodbye, listeners.
I'm pretty sure I'm great in every way.
Ah well, go away.
That'll do.
That'll do.
F it.
The theme song.